Unfortunately, its true purpose is something much more entertainers and celebrities, by virtually every metric imaginable, this planet is in very good health. It is no secret that the China virus is no more dangerous than the flu. Despite this, the media and unfortunately hospitals are hyping this up to be the next Black Plague. There was the testing site from a while back that had employees getting tested just for the news. Either way, Elon Musk has pointed out that about 50% of the cases are false positives. This means that even if things such as suicide or some unrelated death are linked to the China virus, the person may not even have the China virus. We are politicizing science at this point, and it is ludicrous. I would like to remind those listening that because of Elon Musk, this book that detailed all of the lies about the virus actually got published by Amazon. He also opened his plants and allowed his employees to bring home food to their families. What we basically have is a media hyping up a scare tactic and hospitals that get more money if they claim it is from the China virus. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin. This is not so much a news item, but it is something that I need to talk about. I have discussed the scientific and medical problems in regards to the China virus ad nauseum, and so I shall not go into them at the present. I want to talk about the liberty and freedom that was taken away. We have been confined to our homes, forbidden from operating our own businesses how we choose, and now there are the masks. I am calling on every last patriot that hears this message to practice civil disobedience regarding these laws and regulations. I know that I am asking a lot, and when I am out and about in public, I do not wear a mask either. I have said from the very beginning that this was a test to see who would comply with all regulations and restrictions and who will not. In my opinion, America has failed this test miserably. Many places will not allow you into their store if you do not have one of these ineffective masks. It is almost as if you cannot buy or sell without this mask. One who breaks an unjust law that conscience tells him is unjust and who willingly accepts the penalty of imprisonment in order to arouse the conscience of the community over its injustice is in reality expressing the highest respect for law. Martin Luther King Jr. Whether you call it CHOP or Chaz, the Anarchists have been cleared out by Seattle police. Best of all, this shows that our police can take out these domestic terrorists. Granted, it was done with tactical vehicles that were designed with military purposes in mind. Granted, it never should have gotten as bad as it did. Moving on, multiple arrests were made and the people need not be afraid of walking the streets. To think, all of this started with the media blowing one horrible event out of proportion, and ended with people burning down buildings and establishing a separate nation. President Trump is not one to back down. He says what is true regardless of whether or not it hurts someone's feelings. When the deplorables, like myself, got him in office, we were looking for a president, not a pope. For too many years, we have placed people in the White House that have been passive, to just do whatever causes the least amount of conflict. Enter President Trump. Instead of trying to pacify the Chinese Communist Party, he negotiated a trade deal that benefited American companies at the expense of China. They retaliated by releasing the China virus. This worthless virus cleared the streets of Hong Kong protesters and brought the world economy to a standstill. Meanwhile, Pope Francis addressed the world about China, but omitted an entire paragraph about religious freedom within the nation. The Hong Kong security law that is at the center of all of this imposes greater restrictions on protesters, including life imprisonment and execution. Supposedly a calculated risk to get a treaty between Rome and China. But how many Christians and innocent protesters will be killed while trying to get this treaty renegotiated? President Trump is not afraid to hurt anyone's feelings. President Trump chose one of the best possible places to hold a 4th of July celebration. It was perfect, not just because it showed how amazing America is, but that it triggered so many snowflakes. Mount Rushmore was erected in the Black Hills of South Dakota, property of the Sioux tribe. Humans have been conquering land since the dawn of time. Land struggles just on this continent go back before Europeans decided to sail over here. Intertribal conflicts over land resulting in bloodshed were not uncommon. The Europeans' use of gunpowder just made things end much more quickly. If the Sioux got the land back, would they have to return it to whom they stole it from? They certainly would not. Terry Crews and Kanye West are the very definition of what white liberals hate most of all. Blacks that have left the democratic plantation to enjoy the freedom of self-governance and personal responsibility. Terry Crews posted that he will stand with good people regardless of their skin color and is prepared to, quote, die on this hill, close quotes. In an age where celebrities engage in talking back any statement as soon as it triggers the mob, this is a breath of fresh air. He has also gone out of his way to criticize BLM at every turn, even calling it, quote, black supremacy, close quotes. If I made these comments, I would be racist. Crews just gets called an Uncle Tom. We all know that Margaret Sanger was a racist who supported the Klan in an attempt to expunge every black person from the country. With this in mind, Kanye West has rightly pointed out that the entire abortion industry is a tool of white supremacy. Naturally, this only added to the hatred and vitriol that he got after personally meeting with the president. Ladies and gentlemen, the party of tolerance. Many colleges are demanding full tuition for online courses. That is just theft, plain and simple. Germany, Denmark, and Sweden have opened up, despite the pandemic, without the dangers that we were told would happen. It is almost as if you can open schools even if there is a flu. Moving on, President Trump is demanding that schools open back up despite the China virus. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos is with him, 100%. Granted, the schools are going to take precautions, such as face masks, or track the students by Bluetooth. Many, however, will remain closed and create a ripple effect throughout the rest of the economy. In response, President Trump is threatening to cut off funds if the schools do not reopen. It does make sense. The district does not have to pay for janitorial or half the maintenance costs if the school is entirely digital. Will the schools reopen in August? I do not know. All I know for certain is that they never should have closed at all. Ilhan Omar is a member of the squad in the House of Representatives. Like all Democrats, she believes that America is fundamentally racist and the entire system needs to be overthrown. Or to use her words, dismantled. She has gotten to the House of Representatives after being a refugee from a horrible nation. If that is a system of oppression, I really would like to know what a lack of oppression would look like. It could be not having to marry your brother to get into the country, but I digress. If this country truly does have deep-seated racism, we are doing a very poor job of showing it. It is no secret that the Communist Party in China has many, many human rights violations. The Trump administration has barred 3 officials' entry into the United States after they continue to support human rights violations against religious and ethnic minorities. I do not think that China will take this lying down, and will take even stronger measures than just releasing a virus with a 1% mortality rate. After all, our businesses are leaving their borders. This is far from over. Joe Biden has taken time out of his busy schedule of inane babblings in his basement to say that the federal government has never forced religious charities and institutions to violate their conscience. Never mind, that was inane babbling. Either way, he is a Christian that is willing to stand for infanticide. Even so, he is a Catholic that is promoting the very thing that the USCCB stands against so strongly. I am starting to think that the Democrats are stuck with him and have to make him make sense because they refuse to let President Trump make America great again. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion.